Be re bona ka eng?
And how do we see that?
Ka ha ho na le mehlolo.
When we see miracles.
Mehlolo le phodiso ha di tshwane.
Miracles and healing are not the same.
So Elisha haholo
So Elisha, most of the times,
o na dila ka mehlolo.
he would deal with miracles.
Mohlolo ke ha ntho e se ho motho e le ntho e etsahalang ka ntle ho motho e etsahala le ka tlholeho.
Miracles is something that is not controlled by a person.
E sa etsahale ho motho.
It is not being done, or it is not done to a person.
E le ntho e etsahalang ka matla a re sa tsebeng hore ke re ka hlalosang jwang.
Which is something that is done with a supernatural power that is unexplainable.
Now, ke mo Elisha a neng a operator teng.
Now that is where Elisha would operate.
Then re ra bona hore Jordan ile a buleha.
And we saw that the Jordan River was opened up.
A tsamaya ka hara Jordan metsi a suthile pela hae.
And he crossed over the Jordan River while the water was parted.
And re bone hape
And we saw again
ha a jwetsa mosadi wa mohlolohadi hore a lo batla dipitsa a nke oil e ntse e eketseha ka tlhoko.
and we saw when he told the widow to go get the vessels.
Ntho tseo di bitswa mehlolo.
And all those things are called miracles.
Ke mang a nkutlwang ka moo? Now, monna wa modimo
Now a man of God,
a ka ema a le mong batho ba le kgahlano le yena a ba hlola a le mong.
he can stand alone while all people are against him, and he is able to overcome those people alone.
Le naha.
Even
naha.
a country.
Now, a re checkeng taba ena ya kajeno.
Now let us look at this matter of today
Re shebe hore na Elisha ke motho a jwang.
and look at what type of a person is Elisha.
Ke nahana hore ka thuso ya modimo
I think that through the help of God,
re tla qeta ditaba tsa hae kajeno.
we will finish off his matters today.
Now today ke kopa re shebeng chapter 6
Now today may we look at chapter 6,
verse 12 to 19.
verses 12 through to 19. Second Kings chapter 6, verse 12 through to 19.
Please.
And one of his servants said, None, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber.
Yo.
And he said, Go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, Behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came
Bala mo hantle. A great
and
host.
a great host.
Tswela pele.
And they came by night
Yes.
and compassed the city about.
Yes.
And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw.
Yes.
And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha.
Yes.
And when they had come down to him,
Yes.
Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said,
Yes.
Smite these people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, This is not the way,
Yes.
neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the men whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria.
Elisha.
Elisha.
Basiria morena wa teng o na bua le Basiria gore le tle lo tshwara morena wa Israele ebe Elisha wa mo jetsa se ka ba feta mo.
The king of Syria was telling the Syrians army to go and arrest the king of Israel, and Elisha would tell him that do not pass a certain place,
ha o etsale ebe motho ha etse jwa
and that person will not do that.
a etse jwa le ebe o etsa jwa
And then when he's doing that, he won't do that.
ebe e mongwe wa bahlanka morena o re
And one of the servants of the king
hona le
said,
motho ka hara rona
there is somebody in our midst
ya bolella ditaba tsena morena wa Israel
who tells our plans to the king of
jwale e
Israel.
mongwe wa batho ba hae
And one of his servants
o re
said,
ke Elisha
it is Elisha.
o utlwa ditaba tseo di buang ka morena
He hears of the matters that you speak about even in your bedchamber.
meaning
Ho bolela hore
Elisha
Elisha,
o na na le di-eardrums tsa Modimo
he had the eardrums of God,
because ke Modimo fela
because it is only God
ya utlwang hohle
that can hear everywhere else.
e seng motho.
It is not a person.
Jwale ha o the ke monna wa Modimo
So when he is called the man of God,
ke go bolela gore
it means that
o bile o na le ditsebe tsa Modimo
he even has the ears of God,
because o tla tseba ho utlwa motho ka kamoreng
because he'll be able to hear a person speaking from his bedchamber.
Ke kopa o bue le motho a pela hore na o a utlwa. Now taba ya re e batlang mona ke eng?
Now, the matter that we are seeking for is this one.
Before re ya go yona
Before we can go to it,
Elisha
Elisha
o kgona ho utlwa motho a ntse a bua ka kamoreng.
is able to hear somebody speaking from their bedroom.
Now motho ha e le moprofeta
Now, when somebody is a prophet,
Modimo wa bua ebe motho eo o buiswa ke Modimo.
God would speak and that person
But
will.
casing ya Elisha
But in the case of Elisha,
ebile o utlwa motho ha a bua
he even hears a person speaking
ka kamoreng.
in his bedroom.
That is the level
Ke boemo bo phahameng
ba motho ya tsamayang le Modimo.
of a man that walks with God.
Now taba e ke e batlang hantle
Now, the matter that I'm looking for actually
ke gore army
is that the army
ilo batla Elisha
is going to look for Elisha.
ha ho a romelwa
They did not send
batho ba itseng,
certain people.
ho rometswe army ya naha.
An army of a nation was, or of a city
Ha wa
was
le
sent.
nkutlwa, ho rometswe army ya naha.
An army of a city was sent.
Now re need to tseba
Now we need to know
gore Modimo re sebetsang le yena ke mang.
the God that we work with, who
Hona
he
moo.
is, right there.
Gore le ha makgotla a tla a le mangata,
That even an host can come
ha Modimo a le teng,
when God is present.
ha hona lebaka la ho tshoha
There's no reason of being afraid
ha o le pela Modimo.
when you are before God.
Ke mang a nkutlwang ka mane? Now Elisha
Now, Elisha,
batho bana ka mokgone ba le bangata ka teng
the way these people were many,
ba fitlile ba potolowa thaba ba kena kore ba le bangata
they encamped around the mountains because it was a
Elisha
great
sole.
host. It was a great host
e tlo lwantsha Elisha
that came
or mohlomong ba
against,
tlo tshwara Elisha
or that came to arrest Elisha.
Bibele e re
The Bible says,
ya ba mohlanka wa hae
then his servant,
ya ba
then,
o re mongaka o so le hobe
and he says, Master,
ba
it
se ba re
is,
poti
they are all around us.
ya ba o re ho yena
Then he said to him,
ba nang le rona
those that are with us
ba bangata ho feta batho
are more than them.
re ke eme moo
Let me just stop there
ke ye morao
and let me just go back a bit.
moo a rwanang le Elia
Where he is separated from Elijah.
mohla a rwanang le Elia
The day that he separated from Elijah,
go bile le dipere
there were horses
tse ba arotseng
that separated them.
tseo ke itseng di setse le Elisha
That which I said they were left behind
ha
with
di a
Elisha.
tsamaya le Elia
They did not depart with
Elia o
Elijah.
tsamaile ka setsokotsana
Elijah went up with a whirlwind,
but dipere tseo di setse le yena
but those horses were left
ha
behind
o
with
na le
him.
di-case tse ding
If there are certain cases
tse amang Elisha nako eo
that are including Elisha during that time,
o tsebe di tla hlahela
you must know that those horses will appear.
every time di tlo hlahela
Every time when they
ha ho na le
appear,
di-case tse ding
then when there are certain cases,
re tla e sheba hanyane le yona ena
we will look at it briefly, that part.
now point ya ka mona ke ena
Now, my point here is that
makgotla ana
this great host,
re utlwisise hore Syria
we must understand that Syria,
e ne le batho ba matla at that time
it was a powerful city at that time.
no e ne le batho ba
They
matla
were powerful
ba ena le
people.
sesole se matla
They had a great host, a
But-
powerful army. Impa,
Elisha
Elisha,
o na le batho ba bangata
he was having a lot of people,
ho feta ba
more than them.
Bibele e re
The Bible says
a rapela hore mohlanka ya ska tshoga
he prayed that the young man should not be afraid.
a re modimo bula
And
mothena
said,
mahlo
God opened
ha
up his
bula
eyes.
mahlo
When God opened up his
o bona
eyes,
dipere tsa mollo
he saw the horses of fire.
because
Hobani,
Elisha
Elisha,
la ntho e Modimo a batlang e re Elisha
Elisha.
sometimes ha dintho di eme
Sometimes when things are,
ha lefatshe
Standing still.
le re shebile
when the whole world is looking at us,
it's like
it is like
re tsietsing
we are in danger.
ba nang le rona
Those that are with us.
o thweng Bibele e reng a wa bana re bueng part e bohlokwa ke ena.
The most important part is this one.
ke hore na ke dumela hore ba bangata
Do I believe that they are many?
but e re retse distinction mo
But let us make a distinction there.
ha monna e le wa modimo
If a man is of God,
wa caliber ya Elisha
of the caliber of Elisha,
lenyolo ile la rapela ba mo tshabang a kere
the angel is around those that
Ito
fear
jwalo Bibele a
him.
kere lenyolo ile etsa jwang
What does the angel do?
o buang le etsa jwang
What does the angel do?
ha motho e le monna wa modimo
If one is a man of
ha
God,
sebetse ka nyolo ile e one
that person does not work with just one angel.
o na le army
That person has an army
e tsamayang le yena.
that walks or
That is
moves
why a sa
around with
hloke
him.
di-bodyguard
That is why he does not need
o na le tsona
bodyguards.
anyway
He has them anyway,
but ha di bonagale
but they are invisible.
Bibele e re
Now the Bible says,
Elisha
Elisha,
yena
he himself,
ha re
he did not say.
Bibele e re a ba otla ka bofofu
The Bible says he
Kore,
struck
mo
them with
maleng teng mo,
blindness. Where he is here,
Ho na le matla a Modimo.
there is the power of
Ho na le
God.
sesole sa lehodimo.
There's an army
Ho
of
na le
God.
Modimo ka boyena.
There's God in his divinity.
Mo Elisha a leng teng.
Where
So
Elisha
a ka
is.
etsa anything at any time.
So he can do anything at
That
any
is why
time.
a kgona ho utlwa
That is why he's able to hear
motho a le ka kamoreng.
when somebody is in his bedchamber.
Ya utlwala ke. Now ha ba otla ka bofofu.
Now, when he strikes them with blindness,
Ha eba re ya ka yana hanyane before ke feta.
let's continue with it before I pass it.
O tsamaya le bona.
He walks with them
Ha ba bone ha ke re.
because they are blind.
Na motho ya sa boneng
Will a person that is blind,
a ka bona motho ya mo tsamaisang.
can they see somebody that is leading them?
Re tshwantse re sebedise taba ke re.
We must
Ba
use
tsamaile
this matter.
jwang?
How did they go?
Ke dumela gore Elisha
I believe that Elisha
or Gehazi
or Gehazi
o tshwere commander.
held the commander's hand,
Commander a tshwere e mong.
and the commander is holding
Ba
somebody
tshwarane
else's hand,
kaofela.
and they were all holding each
Le
other's
dibetsa
hands.
tsa bona hua ha monate.
And with their army and weapons, they were going to the king.
Why?
Hobane
Elisha is around.
Elisha o se a le teng.
Ke botsa potso ena.
I'm asking this question.
A kae matla a le a Modimo?
Where is that power of God?
Ke botsa potso fela, ke botsa. A kae?
Where is the power of God?
He ba ena ba tshoa le tshintshi ha e feta.
When the brethren are afraid of even a fly when it passes by.
Because gore matla ao a bona.
Because for that power to be seen,
Ho tshwantse ho be le force e nngwe e sang somewhere.
there must be a force
Ha
that comes
hona
from
hore matla a
somewhere.
Modimo a tla bona.
There's no way that the power of God will be
Ho
seen
sena force e a testang.
without a force testing
That is
them.
why Isaiah are.
That is why Isaiah says,
Ha sera se tla jwalo ka
when
flood.
the enemy comes in like a
Moya wa
flood,
Modimo o phahamisa
the Spirit
standard.
of the Lord will lift up a standard.
Meaning ha ona phahamisa
Meaning
standard.
it will not lift up a
Ha ho
standard
sena force e nngwe.
when there is no
Now ha
force.
ona le di force tse tlang.
Now when there are forces
Some
against it,
people are crying.
ba bang ba lla,
Ha ba testing
they
tena.
do not test this thing.
Kaofela ha rona
All of us,
ne re le ka tlung.
we were in the house
Ba re dulang ka mo.
and they said, stay there.
Kaofela ha rona ne re kentse dikatana.
All of us had masks on. That power, where is it?
A kae matla a bo Duma,
Where is the power of Pastor Duma?
bo Bengu,
Where is the power of Pastor Bengu?
bo Ngidi.
Where is the power of Pastor Ngiti?
Bo botsa motho a bolela, "A kae matla? A kae?" Now, ntho ena e re leng ka hara yona,
Now, this thing that we are in,
ha hona motho a ka e laolang, e laolwa ke Modimo fela.
there's nobody that can control it. Only God is the one that is able to control it.
E re ke e phete ngwanaka ka sekgowa.
There's nobody that can control it. Only God
Ha
is.
hona motho ya ka emang ka pele.
There's nobody that can stand in
E le
front
lefatshe le kopane kaofela.
while the whole world is all up together.
Ho tshwere matla.
When this power is held.
Ha hona taba. E re ke ka mona. Ho tshwere matla.
When this power is held.
Banna ba 4
4 men,
ba ne ba tshware empire.
they affected an
No,
empire.
not affect. Kore ba ema.
They stood firm in an empire.
a le mong a ema tulong e itseng,
one stood in another area,
e mong ba bararo ba ema tulong e
and then
itseng.
the other three stood in another area.
Ha fihla ha hlongwa modingwana,
And an idol was
hwa thwe ho
placed.
kgumangwe.
And they said they must bow before
Ba re
him.
le kgale,
And they said, no,
re ke be ra kgumama.
we will not bow down.
Ebile
And
ho tla tsejwa.
it will be known.
Le haeba re ka shwa,
Even if we
ho
can
ntso
die,
tla tsejwa.
it will still be known.
Ya re ha ba ba lahlela ka hara mollo.
And when they cast them into the burning,
Ha ba ba lahlela ka hara mollo.
when they cast them into the fire,
Batho ba ba lahletseng bona
the
batjha.
people that
Because
threw
ho
them
na le
in
matla
burned,
a mang
because there's another power
a sa bonweng.
that is invisible
Ho na le
power.
matla a mang
There is another power
a tshwantseng a sebetse.
that must
Ene
work.
matla ao ha a le
And
teng,
when that power is
a
there,
etsa hore matla ohle a le teng
it
a theohele
makes
fatshe.
all the other power that is there to
Matla
come
a
down.
mang a ikokobetsa.
Some other power will go
Ha
down
matla ao a le teng,
when that
o
power
tsebe hore
is there.
Basiria ba na le medimo ya
You
bona.
must know that the Syrians
But
have their
Elisha
own
o na le
God.
modimo o
But
phelang.
Elisha is walking with the living God.
Batho bao
Now those people,
ba tjhentjha molao wa Babylon.
they changed the law of Babylon.
Batho bano ba na le batho ba tsamayang le modimo ba na le matla a ho tjhentjha melao ya lefatshe.
The people that walk with God have
ba sa ya
power to change
parlamenteng.
the laws of the world, even if they did not go to the parliament.
Batho bana ba tjhentjha molao.
These people changed the law.
Ke molao wa motheo ba. Molao wa motheo. Ke ba bua ka sekgowa ba sentse ka dinko. Molao wa motheo. Batho ba ha ba tswa mo,
When they leave that place
ho thwe ho ska kgumamelwa modimo e mong.
and they say, do
Ho
not bow
kgumamelwa wa
to
Shadraka le
any
Meshach.
other
Ho
God but the
tjhentjha
one of
molao.
Shadrach and Meshach, their law is then being changed.
Because ho na le batho ba tshwereng modimo
Because there are people that are having God
ya bonwang.
that can be seen.
Motho ha a tshwere ke hlooho,
When somebody has a headache
a rapela,
and that person is prayed for,
a ka nna nwa Panado.
that person can drink Panadol.
normal.
Ke ntho e tlwaelehileng.
But mohlolo
But a miracle
ha ona dipidisi.
has no pills.
Ke bang a nkutlwa.
Who hears me?
Hore motho ha a tsamaya le batho ba foufetse a ba o foufaditse.
If one
O
is
ka se-
walking
o ka
with
ithiba ntho.
blind people,
No, o ka e thiba.
will you stop such a thing?
Ho bona ha batho bana o dutse mothong.
To see, for those people to see is
Ha
dependent
ba
on those
fihla
people.
mane, o re ba bone.
And when they get there, he says, may they
Jwale
now
morena o
see.
re na wa ba bolaya.
And the king says, should we kill
Fa
them?
mathakana dijo ba
And he
tsamaya.
said, no, give
Ay,
them
ay, ay,
food
ay.
so that they can go back home.
Matla a magolo ao Paulos ya reng.
The greatest power of which Paul says,
Ke matla a sa sitweng ke letho.
it is the power of his might.
A re baleng chapter 7.
Let's read chapter 7.
Before re bala chapter 7, a re baleng chapter 6 verse 24 to 26.
Before we read chapter 7, may we read chapter 6, verse 24 to 26. And it came to pass after this
Yes.
that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria,
Yes, please.
gathered all his host
Yes.
and went
His
up.
host.
His host.
Well, mona ho hobe.
Now it was bad here.
Haiba
If
kamora kajiko.
after today
Somebody santsa tla tshaba di principality.
somebody will still be afraid of principalities,
Ko bolela gore.
that means
Ha reng ha e ro itulela re robale.
let's go back home, stay there and sleep,
Khawana.
and just leave everything.
Because
Hobani,
if it's a testimony,
if we do not test this power
gore bone a sebetsa.
so that we may see if it works,
Haiba modimo
if God
ya phetseng le rona
that lived with us
a ka tsamaya
can go
ebile a sena le koloi
without having a car
a tsamaya ka bese
and walk or
go
travel
te
with a
moruti e
bus
mo go shwetswe ke ngwana
and said one pastor's daughter is dead,
a palame bese
and that person will go
a
in the
theowe
bus
somewhere
and get off somewhere,
ebe o ntse a tsamaya ka maoto
and that person is still
ebe
walking
batho ba
on
ntse ba
foot,
nyatsa moruti eo
and people are mocking
e re
this
ha a
pastor.
fitlha a kena ka tlong
And when he got there, he comes into the
ebe o
house
etsa matsoke
and he's put his
ebe o
hands
tla hodima
together,
ngwana a shwele
and then he spreads himself on a dead
gona
body.
generationeng ya rona
During our
e re
generation,
a keta ho etsa jwalo
and after doing
ngwana a tsoe gona
the
moo
child rose from
tshwantse
the
ke
dead.
tsebe gore na
Then I must know
matla ana a ile kae
where is
I
this
need to
power?
know gore na
Tlamehile o tsebe
matla ana a bo duma
where
kae
this power of Pastor Duma is.
maya shando saya tshwantse re tsebe gore what happened
We must know what happened.
o ba o botsa motho a pela re, what happened
What happened?
kore o utlwa gore ona tje
So you can hear that right now.
gore re bone o tsamaya le modimo
So that for us to see that you
Tshwantse re
walk
bale
with God,
dikoloi.
we must count the number of
Papa.
cars. No.
no
No.
tshwantse re bone ga mofu a tsoa
We must see when the
ga
dead
modimo a
rise,
tsosa mofu
when God
re
raises the
shebile
person while
gore
we are
modimo ke ena o
looking,
tsosa mofu
that God is
go na le
raising a dead person.
maatla
There is
a
power
tsamaileng le bo Elisha
that was with Elisha.
upstairs batho ba sa tsoe fitlhile jwang batla ntho tse o sena matla re fitlhile jwang go batla ntho tse o sena matla
How did we get to the level of seeking these things without power? Let me repeat it.
kante matla a sebetsa jwang
How does this power work?
Elisha
Elisha,
o ile a tseba gore na a tholwa jwang le gore na a sebediswa jwang
he found how to get the power and how to
He
use that
are-
power. When he said,
statement seo se kotsi
that is a powerful
ha kata
statement.
o arogana le Elia
After separating from Elijah,
o itse o Elia
he said to Elijah,
ke batla moya wa hao ha ithu
I want double portion of your
now ha
anointing.
kata ba kata o arwana
And after separating,
o re
he says,
o kae modimo wa Elia
where is the God of Elijah?
o
He speaks of something that was mentioned by Gideon.
Gideon.
Gideon says, how do these things come to us? Where is this God? That which our fathers told us about. So you can hear when he says that. He says, if he is here, let me see him. But if I can see him, that means I am with him. So I will speak what I want. I will do what I want. I can blind
because
people because
the
the God of Elijah is with me.
Now,
and it came to pass after this,
yes,
that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria,
yes,
gathered all his host,
yes,
and went up and
because it don't change in a little chapter 7.
and went up and besieged Samaria.
Please.
And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it, and an ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver.
Yes.
And the fourth part of the cap, that is how the famine was so bad.
Yes,
Of a cap of dove's dung,
yes,
for 5 pieces of silver.
Yes.
And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying,
yes, yes,
help, my lord, O king.
Yeah.
And he said,
yes,
if the Lord do not help thee,
yes,
whence shall I help thee?
Yes.
Out of the barn floor,
yes,
or out of the wine press?
Yes.
And the king said unto her,
yes,
what allieth thee?
Yes.
And she answered, this woman said unto me,
yes,
give thy son that we may eat him today,
yes,
and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son. The famine there caused somebody's child to be eaten. And this famine, if you want to know, it is not looking at Israel.
Elisha.
It is actually against Elisha.
No, Elisha.
It is actually against Elisha. And the king said unto her,
yes,
what allieth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today,
yes,
and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, they did this one of the people of Lesotho were used to kill.
That is why
That is why they say the gospel got to Lesotho, the land of blood. It means that they were eating people. It is more serious than the way you sing it.
Yes.
Give thy son that we may eat him, and so we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day,
yes,
give thy son that we may eat him.
Yes.
And she hath hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh.
Yes.
Then he said,
yes,
God do so and more also to me, if the head of Elisha.
Why?
Hobani.
Elisha.
Why the head of Elisha? He left us in a famine. When you see something happening on earth, you must know that it has people that are having God.
Now, batho ba ba tshwere modimo
Now those people that
tshwantse ba
inherit God,
bontshe gore ba tshwere mang.
they must show who
Bua
they
le nna,
are
ba
with.
tshwantse ba bontshe gore ba tshwere mang.
Who must they show
Ai,
that they
batho ba ba
are
buileng
with?
nao, ba tshwantse ba bontshe ba tshwere
Who
mang.
must they show that they are with?
Modimo.
God.
A re bue ka ditone. Tsatsi le leng ne re le Limpopo.
One day we were in Limpopo.
Ha re le Limpopo.
When we were in Limpopo,
Limpopo ho na le marena.
Limpopo, there are chiefs or kings there.
O eo e ne le king. Ke ba kore. Mole. Yaba ho tliswa mme.
Then a woman was brought
Ya tshwerweng ke banna ba 6.
that was held by 6 men.
Ho bolela gore
This means that
motho
this person
wa shwa.
is about to die.
Ba mo tlisa tsoseletso.
They brought her to the revival.
He ntse ke rena.
As I was preaching,
O ntse etsa di signs tsa ho shwa.
she is gasping.
Tsona ntho tse. Ya re ha ke qeta ho rena.
And after preaching,
Ke ntse ntho e nngwe e makatsang.
I did something that was
Because
amazing.
ha se nna a fodisang.
Because I'm not the healer.
Fihle ka fela ka mme matsoho ka feta.
I just laid my hands on her just
Ka
and
ikela
passed her
koloing.
and went to the car.
Ha ke le koloi.
When I was in the car,
Ho na le motho e mong a tla ho nna.
there's somebody that comes to me,
Tate,
Daddy,
o sa ntse a lla.
and that person was crying.
Mme a ne o eme wa tsamaya.
That woman is standing and walking.
Ha ntse ke le ka koloing.
As I was in the car,
A tswa a tsamaya ka maoto.
she walked out walking.
Ketsahalo eo
That act,
ya fihla boremeng.
it got to the king.
Morena a ba tla Sontaha, mosadi eno a tlile Sontaha.
The king came on Sunday when that woman came on Sunday.
O kae modimo o wa Elia?
Where is the God of Elijah?
Ke ba motho a nkutlwang ka mo.
Who
O
hears
kae, o
me?
kae, o kae. So ka ya ha morena.
So I went to the king's house.
Basotho ba tseba.
The Sutu people know.
O na le throne ma emang teng.
He has a throne where he stands,
Mo a dulang teng.
where he
Jwale ho na
sits.
le batho ba mo.
Now there are people
So
surrounding
ke
him.
lemohile Limpopo ho na le ka mokgwanyana o sebetsiwang ka ona.
And I realized that in Limpopo there's a different way of working.
A ke tsebe hore o sebetsiwe ka Limpopo kaofela.
I don't know if it's the whole
Ha o
Limpopo.
address morena o bue le yena.
You don't address the king face
O
to
bua le
face.
motho e mong morena a le mona a ntse a utlwa.
You speak to somebody else
Jwale
while the
motho
king
eno a
hears.
jwetse morena a mametse.
And the king will,
Jwale
the
ba
person
morena o
will
araba motho yane o tla
tell
wena.
the king, and the king will answer that
Ka
person, and
kena
that
ka
person will come to
tlung
you.
eno.
So I went into that house.
Ya re morena ha a kena
And when the king came in,
a kopa hore a ba jwetsa re
and he said,
o kena mo a kenang teng ho na le butler proof.
where he comes in, there's a
O tla
butler,
ka monyako wa butler proof.
and he comes through the butler-proof door.
A re ke kopa moruti a tle kwana.
And he said, may the pastor come closer.
Ha bue le motho.
No, he doesn't talk to the person
bua
straight.
le nna.
He speaks to, he doesn't talk to another person, but
Ha e ya dumellwa ntho eo.
that thing is not
Meaning
allowed.
ho tlolwa molao.
Meaning he is trespassing
Ha
the law.
modimo a le teng,
When God is present,
melao ya tlolwa.
the law is trespassed.
Ya re ha a mpitsa,
And when he
hore
called me,
matona a hae a re,
his
ra
elder said,
kena ka hara ka ha tlung ya morena.
we went into the king's house.
Re le babedi.
Only the
Ho
two of
sena
us.
matona.
With
And
no
ha ya
elders.
etsala ha
And
i-one.
it did not happen
Ha ya
just
etsala
once.
habedi.
It did not happen
Ke
just
etsahetse
once. It
hangata.
happened many
Mo
times.
marena a maholo
Where the kings
lelekang
will
di-bodyguard.
chase away
A re
the
ke batla ho bua le
bodyguards
morena.
and says,
Ke batla
I
ho bua le
want to
moruti.
speak to the
O
pastor.
kae modimo wa Elisha?
Where is the God of Elisha? So let me say, when you speak to the person next to you, you say we are not wise. We are not educated. The kings know. You are the only one that doesn't know. I was in a certain place and there was a king. Where the king's mother had not yet known me. He was told by the king. So when I got there, I said there. Who served me? It's the king. How would you see the king? The king mother said, the queen mother, and said to me, Pastor, take care of my son. I'm talking about it on God's side. That was formed by God. When God is present, the laws are trespassed. When He is present, the laws are trespassed. You trespass the law. You trespass the door. You trespass the door, the law. There in Lesotho, we are going to build what is called the prayer tower. What great king speaks to another person? Where is the pastor? We want to pray. Let him finish off because we want to pray. Not as a chief was speaking, but amen. We are from Rustenburg.
Somebody who we the
He is a brethren. You thought that God does not exist. Elisha. The problem is this one. This question. That which is said. Where is the God of Elijah? That is the problem. Of which people don't look at. One time I was in fasting. And I was troubled. Pastors were not troubled. And I said, what troubles us? Where is Pastor Ben?
Bongiti ba kae?
Where is Pastor Ngidi?
Meaning,
Meaning,
o kae modimo wa batho ba?
where is the
Batho ba
God
ne
of
fastile
these men?
kaofela.
We fasted
But
together with
nna ke
these
nna
men.
ke botsang hore ba kae?
But I'm the only one that is
mong a ba re,
asking where they are. And
Maybe
one said,
o tlo ba e mong wa bona.
maybe you will become
That is
one
why
of them.
question ene o tshwenya.
That is why this question bothers you.
O tshwantse o ipotsa ore
You must ask yourself
o
and
kae
say,
modimo wa Elia?
where is the God of Elijah?
And o bone ho Elisha.
And he was seen.
Why?
Elisha, hobani.
O ile a botsa potso.
He asked the question,
O kae?
where is he?
Baina.
Brethren,
O kae modimo o?
where is that
A
God?
khona o kae modimo
Where
o?
is God?
O kae modimo
Where
o?
is God?
O kae modimo
Where
o?
is
Ha
God?
bona hore ke
Let
modimo.
him be seen that he is
The
God.
miracle
The miracle,
ke ha
it is when
morena
the king
ya sa buile wena
that
direct
does not address
a
you
o nka a re
directly and takes your hand
ka
and
mo
says,
matona a gae
well, his
a
elders,
sa kene
they go,
a re
they don't
moruti
go.
ha re kene
And
ka
he
mo
says, Pastor, let us
bo
go in.
batho ba gae ba sa
Where
kene
some of his people
go
don't
kwetse
go.
ka batla proof
And they close
ke
them with
bulela
the
batla
butler proof.
proof
I believe the
re a
butler
kena
proof.
ka
The
gare.
butler proof was opened and we went
That is a
inside.
miracle.
That is a miracle.
Ke ba motho a nkutlwang ka mo? Tlo ke bohlokwa.
That is a miracle.
Bua le motho a ka nqane a holenyana le wena.
Please speak to the person that is
Ka
far
re a le
off from
buisane,
you.
bua le ya holenyana.
Please speak to the person that is far off from you.
Tswela pele ngwana ka ho bala. Jwale taba ena
Now this matter,
e pakeng tsa Elisha le Basiri.
it is between Elisha and the
Morena,
Syrians.
that is why a tabola diaparo.
That is why the king tore his
A re
garment.
o batla hlooho ya
And
Elisha.
he said, I want
O
the
isa
head of
kae
Elisha.
hlooho ya Elisha?
Where are you taking the
Ke
head
hobane
of Elisha?
Elisha
It is because
o teng ka
Elisha,
hara camp.
he is in the
Ha
camp.
so bua.
He has not said a word.
Bala chapter 7.
Then Elisha said,
Yes.
hear ye the word of the Lord.
Yes.
Thus saith the Lord, tomorrow about this time,
Ke na le bothata ka monno.
I have a problem with this man.
Ha tlala e le teng.
When there is a famine,
Modimo wa bolela. Haeba ho the tlala e teng,
when there is a famine,
e dutse lentsweng la monna wa Modimo.
it is sitting upon the word
The
of
solution.
the, God. The solution.
Ha ya dula hore Elisha lo etsa.
It is not depending
E
on
dutse
Elisha
hore
to
a
do
ka
it.
bolela.
It is depending on
And
his
at that
word.
time ha ka bua,
And at that time, if he can
ebe ha o e kgolwe.
and you do not
O tla o
believe it,
jwetsa a re,
he will tell
o
you,
tla e bona ka
you
mahlo.
will see it,
Ha ona ba
but
partake
you
eo.
will not
O
partake
tla e bona
in
fela ha e
it. You will
etsahala.
see it when it happens.
Ke mang a utlwang? Simpidi wena ya rate. Ha o ka sitsa ba bang. Ha o ka sitsa bo tuma le nna Mphete. Simpidi le nna. Simpidi le nna.
Tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria. Then a lord on whose hand the king leaned answered the man of God and said, Behold, if the Lord will make windows in heaven, might this thing be? And he said, Behold.
No. How do Christian tell me?
Let us understand of this matter. This person does not just speak. A child has been eaten. He has. This thing won't happen just quickly. It must happen in years. This thing that must happen years. But when it comes from God, it does not depend on the natural. It depends on the divine. It does not depend on the natural. Actually, this matter, it came so that the Bible was written, so that we may know that this thing happened, and it was written for the people that are in that they may know that when the enemy has encamped around them, the word of God is the one that will when the enemy surrounds them around, when the enemy encamps around them, they must know that it does happen. When they take that word becomes around, it will happen just like that. He says tomorrow. Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but shalt not eat thereof.
Now
things that are called miracles, they are such things. When we go to the mountain, when the sun is out, like this, then the rain will start raining. Up until 3 kings, they realize that then it will rain when the pastors are present.
And then why was that before?
Why didn't they come before? So that we may let us know. When we are there, the women of uniform, they pass there. The power that comes from the mountain arrested them when they were on the ground, so that they should not pass this area. Because this area would not lay a miracle. That is what the Scripture say. They will say there is no such a thing. Where is the God of Elisha? Where is he? Where is he? The Syrians planned against us. They are busy planning. Let them continue. They don't know the one that is above. They don't know him.
They will know him.
The day that they know him, they will all bow down and they will say, Jesus, he is Lord. He's not a prophet, he's God. He is Lord. All flesh will lift up their hands and they will say, he is Lord. He is Lord. But there is a need of people that we want this challenge. Up until these matters are known, let me give you the message. The internet came so that it may explain this matters. And now it's so
for something else.
You are doing fire for something else. You must create fire. There is something that which God has done. We must communicate one with
le baetsadi be ba re
Even the brethren
jwale re a phela
now we
hobane
are alive
Elisha o teng.
because Elisha is present.
Bala ngwana ke kena ke batla re chaise re ya kwaneng ha ke no fitla one bana ke bue
Verse
ke go ba
3.
bue le motho a belang
Please speak to the person next
ke
to you.
ntho o tshwenyang
What is it that troubles
e nyane
you?
haholo
It is so small
ha hona le matla a Modimo
when the power of God is
khona ba
present.
nkutlong e nyane
It
haholo
is so small.
e nyane haholo
It is very small.
ntho tse etsang gore batho
Things that make
ba tshwarwa ke
people
mafu a dipelo
that have had
ntho tseo di nyane haholo
those things that
go na le modimo wa Elisha
there is a God
go
of
na le modimo
Elisha.
o phelang
There is a living
go na le
God.
modimo e re emeng pela
There is
gae
a God that we are
go na le
standing
modimo e re
before.
emeng pela
There
gae
is a God that we
ba
are
ešwa re
standing in front
tsamaye re
of.
le bang
We are not walking alone.
ba re ka tsatsi le leng
They say one day
ne ba le nne o thunya mamoruti
they planned to shoot Rev Mophethe.
ntho tse di tswang ke dibuka
Certain things are supposed to be told.
ba rekuwe
They were bought.
ha ba mo atamela
When they got close to her,
jale bana ba tseba ruti
so they knew her route,
ya ho alata ngwana
that she would take a certain route going to fetch the child from school.
ha ba mo sheba
When they saw her,
ba re
they said,
ke jotswe ke motho a tsebang
I was told by the person that knows.
ha ba mo sheba
When they saw her,
ba bona gore
they realized
re
that
ka se kgone
we are
ba
unable.
khutlela morago
They got back
go ba patadi ba bona
to their payers
ba re ha re kgone
and said, we cannot,
ha re kgone
we cannot,
ha re kgone
we cannot,
ha re kgone
we
ha
cannot,
re kgone
we
ha
cannot,
re kgone
we
ha o re
cannot.
bona re phela
When you see us
o tsebe go
alive,
na le e mongwe
you must know that
go na
there's
le ba re
another,
tsamayang le bona
the one that we
go na
are
le ba re
working
tsamayang
with,
le bona
the one that we
go na
are
le ba re
working
tsamayang le
with, the
bona
one that we
go na le
are
ba
working with,
tsamayang le bona
the one that we
o
are
kae
working with.
modimo wa Elisha
Where is the God of Elisha?
bua le motho ya le a ka nka ema o bua le motho ya mo a ka nka eno a phela o a tena ha a bue ema o bua le motho ya mo ema o bua phela ha ema ha a bue ke kopa amen e kgolo
Amen.
aowa ha e kgolo amen
Amen.
now tswela pele ngwana
And there were 4 lepers, men at the entering in.
bothata ba ka ke bona
My problem is this.
wa bona bothata ba ka
You see my problem.
modimo
God,
motho ya tlo mo sebedisa
the person that he's
o
going to use,
disqualified ka hara motse
is a disqualified person.
bothata a se motho
The problem is
ke
not the
lentswe le
person.
tswileng
It is the word that has been released.
ke mang a utlwang ke lentswe le le tswileng
It is the word that
ha
has
hona le
released.
mantswe a tswang for you
If there are words that
o
come
sa
out
nke
and you do not
ha o
take
nke
them,
solution
you are not taking the solution.
Re ke phete hape.
If you do not take the word, that which is spoken in your presence,
solution.
you do not take the solution. What I'm saying, it is the solution of that tomorrow. And they said one to another,
Yes.
why sit we here until we die?
Yes.
If we say we will enter into the city, we are already dead. Let's go. If we stay here, we are going to die. You must know that the lepers, when they give the food, it is thrown to them.
But today,
Because God
has
spoken, they
they
are the solution of the food in the camp. If we say we will enter into the city, then the famine is in the city.
Yes.
And we shall die there.
Yes.
And if we sit still here,
Yes.
we die also.
Yes.
Now therefore come, and let us fall unto the host of the Syrians.
Yes.
If they save us alive, we shall live.
Yes.
And if they kill us, we shall but die.
Yes.
And they rose up in the twilight
Yes.
to go unto the camp of the Syrians.
Yes.
And when they were come to the uttermost part of the camp
Yes.
of the Syria,
Yes.
behold, there was no man there.
Yes.
For the Lord had made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots and a noise. The horses that are going along with this word, it is waiting for an action. When there is an action, they will sound in the ears of the Syrians. When they find action, there's no way that the lepers, they can take an act in our presence without us taking an act. Because the problem is not the lepers. The problem is not the person. The problem is the one that comes with, that needs an action. And as they were walking, then God made a sound of horses, of Elisha. Tell the person next to you, it is not yours, it is Elisha's.
Meaning Elisha
Meaning when Elisha speaks,
when
when he speaks, those horses, if he can blind these men, that thing will happen. Because before he blinds them, he tells the person those are more than they. Now they, what are they going to do? If I speak they will be blind. Because these horses are there. They are there to work. So together with their riders. So when they were sitting in the tent, they they heard a noise. Then they ran away. And the problem is they ran away. They leave garments behind. Because it was said, you will see it, but you will never eat from it. You will never partake from it. So Elisha, he was able to take a challenge of a city. A challenge of a city. And he solves it.
Meaning, South Africa.
South Africa. It needs a person.
Papa.
When these things
They
come,
challenge the
they challenge the power of God. Who can put
Ha
their foot
hona
down?
dinoga.
There's no
Ha hona
strength
madimona.
There's no
A
demon
ka survivor.
that will
Ha hona le
survive
Elisha.
where Elisha is present.
Ya utlwala ke. Okay, re ke. Ya utlwala ka mo. Ya utlwala ke. Humunati, hubali Jesu, Jesu, kimuswalewa. Sitwale li Jesu, kwabalo yangudi.
These people
Elisha.
that are fighting
Le
against
akarabo
Elisha,
intse fihlile.
even when the solution
Ba
has come, they are still going to. They will still send horses because these people don't believe. Tell the people next to you and say what was spoken here. Ever since we've been, it is a word that needs action. It is a word that needs the horses are ready to start. The horses are ready to do something. There's a need of an act. There's a need of people that will do. People that will say who cannot stand and are present and don't act. When you take an act, the owner will act. When you take an action, the owner will act. Let me tell you today, God is waiting for you. That will be put down so that he can act. God is waiting for somebody's action. What day? I say it most of the time and I will say it again. That man was taller than Mr. Tekiso. Then he came and I was standing in front where I was standing. And he came and said, it was a serious matter that didn't need people to hear. I have a problem of a body part. And I felt that this is hard. And there are certain things that even when you pray, when they tell you about it, you feel that. But I took an act. And I said, God, clay is not finished yet. Mold again. And when I said that, I saw there, I was standing here, people were falling
Ekare hona le
like
motho
this,
ya tlang e ba welang ho yena.
as if there was somebody that was coming and they were falling towards that person.
Ka nako e kgutshwane,
In a short space of time.
ka utlwa ntate o le a re,
And I heard that man
"Oh,
say,
he touched me." Ha le nkutlwe lona, ntlong ya yona. Ka na le ha ke e bua ntho eo,
so when I say that,
Satan o na le tsebeng tsena tsa ka ntagata. O tlo bona ha ona etsahala letho.
the devil
Ka
was
re,
saying,
ka phamisa
you,
lentswe ka re,
nothing will happen.
Modimo,
And I lifted up my voice and
ka
said,
kwala lentswe la
God.
Satan ka re, Modimo,
I lifted up, I said, God,
letsupa.
clay,
Ke so kete o rapela.
without me
Jwale,
finishing
hangata
off
ke
to pray.
rapela ke shebile.
Actually, I pray with my eyes closed, my eyes open.
Ha o
You
le
pray
nna,
with your eyes closed.
ka nna utlwa motho wa tla ka tlelapa.
You can hear somebody hitting you.
Ha o
or
le nna, e
slapping
seng
you.
wena.
If it's
Wena o tshwanetse o dudubala.
you, must
Ya re ha
close
ntse
your
ke
eyes.
shebile tje,
So as my eyes
ka
were
bona motho wa o
open,
qala mana a wa moo.
I saw
Ba
the
wa
first
so,
person
kore ba wa so,
falling.
ba wa so,
They were falling.
ba wa so.
They were falling.
Motho ena, o ka re ho na le motho ya ntsane.
As if there's somebody
Ya ba
coming.
ke bona line e se qala ho wa.
And I saw a line
Kore,
falling.
batho
People in
bana
a line
ha ba we
falling.
o na le diashara tse ba
Some
sutubetsang.
people are not
Ho na
falling
le
because
motho ya
there are
kenang
ushers
ka moo.
pushing them. There's somebody that was entering in there
A tlisitse phate.
with somebody.
Ya re ha a fitla a re ha.
When he came and
Monomong
said,
a re,
ah, then the man said,
a re, he touched me.
and he said, he touched
Ka
me.
re, ya re ha a tjho jwalo,
And when he said
ka be
so,
se ntse ke bua ke re,
and I
ke a o
said,
tseba,
I know
ke a o
you.
tseba.
I know you.
Mbabele batho ba eso.
Listen to me.
Nka
brother.
kgato.
Take an
Ai, a ba
action
utlwe, nka kgato.
Take an
Ya
action.
dimpho tse boletsweng.
of the things that were
Nka kgato.
spoken.
Motho e mong o na re ho nna,
Somebody said to me,
o bitsitswe.
you are called.
Ke ntse ke ba le apitso.
And I was running away from my calling.
Jwale,
And I said,
o
now,
tsebe hore pelo ya ka e se kwaleha ka pele.
and my heart was just shutting down.
Hore ha o ka la o tjho jwalo e kwaleha ka
The
pele.
moment you
Se ntse
say
ke na
that,
le
I
dikarabo
just
hona
closed
jwale.
off. I have answers right now.
A re, okay, ha re se ke ra etsa argument.
And I said, let's not make an
Ah,
argument.
yena, a re ha re se ke ra etsa argument.
Oh, he said, let's not make an argument.
Re qala ho bonana.
We just met.
A re ke kopa ho rera kerekeng ya.
And he said, please come preach in my church.
Ha ke tsebe le hore wa utlwa. Ke tla ipuela taba tse ding. Jwale, ha ke fihla mo,
So when I got there,
ke bua.
when I spoke,
Ho na le ntho e nkgannang hore, motho ke ena a sa tsebeng ho tsamaya.
there's somebody that was pushing me because there was somebody that could not walk.
Ya ba ke a rapela.
And I prayed.
Motho a ema a tsamaya.
And that person stood up
Ka
and
nqena,
walked.
ho na le motho a sa boneng.
On the other side, there was a
Ka rapela
blind
ke eme so.
person. And I was praying.
Ke
I
re ke a
prayed.
tshaba, wa utlwa hore ke a tshaba.
You can hear
Mara
that
ke
I'm
nka
afraid.
kgato.
But I'm taking action.
Motho a bona.
And that person
Ha re
saw.
fihla hae motho o la re,
When we got home, that
"A ke
person
re ke
said,
o jwetsitse,
I told you, didn't I say so?
ha o sa nke kgato,
If you do not take an action,
o tlo ba le ntho e sa sebetseng."
you will have something that is not working.
Ke mang motho a utlwileng ka moo? Ao, wa bua le nna. Ke mang motho a utlwileng ka moo? Jwale, ntho e re e utlwileng moo,
Now, what we heard here,
e hloka eng?
what does it need?
E hloka eng?
What does it need?
A e buang haholo. E hloka eng?
What does it need?
E hloka eng?
What does it need?
Modimo ha etse plan ya ho tla bua le motho, e ba hana plan ya ho etsa.
God doesn't make a plan to speak to somebody if he doesn't have a plan to bring that to act.
Because ke yena actor.
Because he's the one that
Ke nna a
acts.
behang matsoho.
I'm the one that lays
Ke yena
hands.
actor.
He's the one that
Part ya ka ke hore ke etse
my
kgato.
part is for me to take an action. Do you see this woman? Please come.
Ke mang a believang hore motho o na tsamaya ka wheelchair?
Who believes that she was on a wheelchair?
A
She was in an accident and was told she will never walk again. Isn't she walking? Who prayed for her? It's Mama Mophethe, it's not me. She's the one that prayed for her. Because the problem is not a person, is the one that acts. The one that acts wants an action. Walk quickly. She was HIV positive and now she's negative. The case here, it is not a person. It is for you to act. When I tell you, we prayed for her and she tested. They said you are positive. And she went back again. And she tested again. And said it's positive. And she acted
Number
again.
3, positive.
Number 3, she was
Number
positive.
4.
Number 4, positive. And she
Number
took
5.
an egg. Number 5.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Number
positive.
7.
Number 7. Negative. Please look at the person next to you and say, take an action. Take an action. If you can sit and you heard a person that the white people during the time of apartheid, they were his congregants. Not the ones that are here to control him, but they came to be part of the congregation. Not because they came with apartheid, they came to listen to him. A black man during the time of apartheid. It must be gone. It must be gone. Each and everything
we
that
must
you
push
see,
it back.
we push it back. And when they were come to the uttermost part of the camp of Syria, behold, there was no man. For the Lord had made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots and a noise of horses, even the noise of a great host. And they said one to another, Lo, the king of Israel hath hired against us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to come upon us. Wherefore they arose and fled in the twilight and left their tents, their horses, their asses, even the camp as it was, and fled for their life. And when these lepers came to the uttermost part of the camp, they went into one tent and did eat and drink, and carried thence silver and gold and raiment, and went and hid it, and came again and entered into another tent, and carried thence also, and went and hid it. Then they said one to another, we do not well. They were fitting themselves. Because there's nobody there that took an action. Listen to what God says right now. If you don't take an action, somebody will take an action
on your behalf.
On your behalf.
Naaman,
he took an action, and Gehazi did not take it. While he was close to him, coming from afar.
New Testament,
Then when Jesus speaks about it in the New
Ho no
Testament,
ntse ho na le ba lepera mo,
he said there were lepers here
ba sa fola.
and they were not getting
Ho ntse ho na le
healed.
basadi ba ba hlolohadi. Ntho
There
tse
were
ne ntse di teng.
widows. All these things were there.
Ke mang a utlwa?
Who hears me?
Hore ne ntse di le teng ka ho.
They were all there.
Ho hlokahala motho a tswe hole kwa.
Then there's somebody that needs to come from afar
So di bone.
so that they can come see them.
Ke kopa o bue le motho a pela hao.
May you please speak to the person next to you
O jwetse re o. Ho tla tla motho a tswang hole.
and tell them that somebody will come from afar
A fihle a bone ntho.
and come and see this thing.
Ha wena o sa e bone.
If you don't see it,
Ke a e pheta.
I'm going to repeat it
Somebody
again.
tla tswa hole.
Somebody will come from afar.
Ebile
And again,
e re ke e bue.
let me say this.
People are coming.
Batho ba tla.
This is the time
Ena ke nako
ya batho
for people
ba maoto a tshepe.
of the iron feet.
Sentse ba kena one by one.
They are coming in one by one.
Sentse ba kena already. Ha le ba bone. Ba
They
se ba
are coming in one by one. You don't see them.
teng. Ho so na le ba teng.
There are people that are in,
Ba ntse ba tla one by one.
they are coming in one
Ha
by
wena o
one.
re ntho ya o hlola.
If you say you cannot
Ba
do
tla o jwetsa
something,
rona re hlolo.
they will tell you that it doesn't, we are able to do it.
Hello? Ke mang a utlwang? Nka kgato.
Take an action.
Now, ha hona conference of the giant e tshwanang le.
Now, there's no conference of the giants like this one.
Ke tla o jwetsa why.
I will tell you why.
Dintwa tsa teng
The battles they off.
di bontsha hore Modimo o batla ho pusha something.
They show that God wants to push something.
Batho na batla motho e mong nke kgato.
But he wanted somebody to take an action.
Ke kopa o jwetse motho a pela nka kgato.
Tell the person next to you, take an action.
Aowa bana. Nka kgato.
Take an action.
Tswela pele. Jwale banna bana
Then they said
ba ja.
that these men
E seng dijo tse
ate
lahletsweng.
not the food that was thrown to them.
Dijo tse ba ipatelang tsona.
No food that they were
Ba ja
looking.
ba nwa
They drank and they
ba
ate.
utlwa hore re a kgora.
And they said, we are full
E re re
now.
thuse motseng.
Let us go help in the
Ba
city
ntse ba ja bana kwa.
so that they must stop eating their children there.
Ba ja bana motho e mong ba ja bana kwa.
They eat children
Ba
there.
rekisa hlooho ya donkey.
They sell the
Jwale,
donkey's
ho
head.
hobe, re re ba thuse.
Let us help them.
Ba isa molaetsa.
They took the
O tseba ba
message.
tshwanela ho kena ka motseng.
You must know that they're not supposed to enter into
And
the
ha o
city.
atamela tshwantse ba re.
And when you come close to them,
Re
they
se
must say,
sila.
we are,
But today
but today,
ke bona ba bontshitse Modimo.
they are the ones that showed God.
Ho tla tuwa. Modimo wa mahodimo,
The God of heavens,
he's ready to act.
he is ready to act.
I repeat this vision again.
Ke bua hape vision ena kajeno
I
hape.
saw a vision.
Ke bile ka bona pono
Mo hodima sepakapaka.
where there in the realm
Ho ena le masole
there was an army.
ba le mo sepakapakeng.
They were in the realm.
So masole ao
So that army,
ke army ya lehodimo.
it is the heavenly army.
E emetse lentswe
It is waiting for a word
le action.
and action.
They will act.
Batla act.
Bothata ke hore ha re ba bone.
The problem is that we don't see them.
Batho bale ke batho ba batelle.
They are tall beings,
Very long.
very tall.
Ha ba lekane le rena.
They are not our height. They are taller than us.
They are ready.
Baredi.
Jwale manyoloi ha acte ha o sena moena ya buang kapa ya acta.
So the angels won't act if there's no brethren
Because
that will say a word or
Ha
act.
ba dumellwa ho sebetsa lefatsheng ba a tswala.
because they are not allowed to work or
So
operate
ba
on
ka
the earth.
sebetsa ha hona le motho ya tswetsweng ya ka buang a etsa.
They can only work
Ke ba motho
when
a ka-
there's somebody that is born on earth
But
and
already
says
they
the
are
word.
there.
But already batting.
He o ba bona,
When you see them,
he ba atamela,
when they come closer,
mo ba atamelang teng,
where they are,
ba etsa ntho e ka reng lefifi.
they form something as if it's darkness.
Not ba etsa lefifi bona.
They don't
But
form
mokgwa o ba
darkness.
sebetsang, mokgwa o ba tlang ka ona,
But the manner that they come,
ho ba lefifi ha ba atamela.
darkness will be there when they come close.
Gore go bontsha
So that is to show you
how serious that is.
hore taba ena e serious hakaka.
But they are there.
Empa ba teng.
Modimo,
God
o batla ho sebetsa.
wants to work.
Ha hona ntho o tla e bona o sa act.
There is nothing that you will see without acting.
Mabaka
Reasons,
a etsa gore batho ba ska act.
they make people not to take action.
He ke qala ho fasta
When I started fasting,
in the early ages,
ka matsatsi a ka ho qala,
he ke qala ho fasta di-fasting tse tsa.
when I started fasting my fastings,
Satane ke hare,
the devil said,
o tlo shwa.
you will die.
Chomi ya ke a le se shwile.
Your friend is dead there.
Letsatsi le leng ke fastile 49 days.
One day I fasted for 49 days.
Ne le masapo fela, o no sena motho.
It was just bones.
Ne re fastela polasing ya lekgowa le leng.
We were fasting
So,
in
ho na le
one.
toilet mo re yang toilet.
So there was a place where we go to the toilet.
Ke ya ho bo 49.
I'm going to the 49th day.
Ho na le motho ya shwileng ka 23.
And there's somebody that died in
More
23
ha re kena
days.
toilet o shwetse moo.
When we go into the toilet, that person died.
Wait,
there.
bona toilet.
You see the toilet.
O etse moo.
That person fell there.
Well, every time ha ke tsamaya moo,
So every time when I went there,
lekgowa le leng tse
that a white person will say, a certain white man say,
mohla ke tsamayang ba tlo
look,
lata.
the day when they were coming to fetch me, that
Because
person
ha ba
was
tlo bona
looking,
topo se seng.
because that person doesn't want to see another
Ha
car.
ntse ke nka kgato
As I was taking a step,
until I reach 90.
up until ke fihla matsatsi a 90,
Ho no sena motho ya ka fitlang moo.
there was nobody that can
Mara
reach
somebody
those
a ka
days,
fihla.
but somebody can
Somebody
get there.
nkile thakgato.
Somebody took an action.
Ke bang a utlwa? Somebody nkile kgato.
Somebody took an action.
Ba bang ne ba re ba ilo mpolaya.
Some witches planned to kill me.
Ya re ha koloi e theoha,
So when the car came,
ba ne ba batla ho tla e hlaba e. E hlaba ke tse ke yona ba tlo e hlaba ka.
they wanted
Ba lo hlaba mavili.
to punch the tires.
Ha ba leuwa papa.
They ran away.
Ha ba leuwa wa utlwa.
They ran away.
Ba tswa South Africa mo.
They were from South Africa,
Ba fofile ba ile.
flying to that side.
Ha ntse o nka kgato.
As you take a step,
O bona matla a Modimo.
you see the power of God.
Ke kopa amen. Ha o ntse o nka kgato.
As you take a step,
Ha ntse o nka kgato.
as you take a step,
Ha ona amen ka mona. Ha o ntse o nka kgato.
as you take a step,
Ha ntse o nka kgato.
as you take a step,
Ho na le ntho o tla e bona.
there's something that you will see.
Mohla conference of giant e tswalwa.
The day that the conference of the
I
giant
was
was
dying.
conceived, I was dying.
Ne ke shwa.
I was dying.
On the 58th day.
Ka letsatsi la bo 58.
I sale a ke so bone ntwa e jwang.
Ever since, I've never seen such battle.
Ntwa eno e ne le mpe haholo.
That was a very bad war.
lebaka le le hore ke shwe moo
The reason was for me to die there.
hwa lwanwa
There was a fight.
Ba- ba- ha ke theoha
When I came down,
he ke robetse somewhere
when I was sleeping in a certain place,
ke ne ke ya meeting o mong
I was going to a certain meeting,
o important
which was important.
the day ke robetse
The day that I was
a
sleeping,
utlwa lentswe le le bua le nna le utlwahalang
I heard an audible voice
le re conference of the giant
saying, "Conference of the
he o
giants."
nka kgato
When you take a step
o feta ka hara ntwa
and you pass through a battle,
ka mora yona
after that battle,
ho na le karabo
there's a solution or an answer.
ho na le ditaba
There are matters there.
aowa ho na le ditaba
There are matters there.
o tlokala motho ya pushang
There is a need of a person
nke ke
that
bone
will
motho ya
push.
kileng a etsa ngwana e le mme
And let me see somebody that has given birth to a
a
child.
eme ha o ile a etsa ngwana
If you have given birth to
ha
a
eba o
child,
tseba ho etsa ngwana
if you know how to give birth to a
aowa
child,
ha o tseba ho etsa ngwana o eme
if you know how to give birth to a
a ke re wa tseba
child,
ho etsa ngwana
you know how to make a
nna ha re tsebe
child,
ho etsa ngwana
how to bring forth a child.
ke kopa mme a le mong fela
Can I just ask one
Ah,
woman?
emang.
One woman.
ho bobebe
Is it an easy thing?
mara ho monate
Is it a nice thing?
ha o mo tshwere
When you are holding
na
that
ho
child,
bobebe
is it easy?
ha ke so utlwe mosadi ya reng
I've never seen or heard a
ho no le
woman that
monate
says
ka moo ho etsuwa ngwana
it was a wonderful experience.
kapa e wonderful
Or was it wonderful?
ha re bueng e wonderful
Was it wonderful?
you push
Wapusha.
until o tshwara ngwana
Up until you hold your baby.
Ke a utlwa, ke bang a utlwa? Ke bang a utlwa? Ngwano, a eme pela. Oh, tlhokwane ngwana. Ee. Ba bisa matsoho. Ha ke tsebe, sale ke feel-a hore ke o rapella. I don't know why. Ha ke tsebe di-story tsa teng.
I don't know why, but I felt that I should pray for you. I don't even know the story.
Pele ha ke batle le ho tseba story tsa teng.
I don't even want to know your story.
But
Empa,
tshwantse ke o rapella.
I must pray for you.
Ha wa makala.
Aren't you amazed?
Ha bisa matsoho a hao.
Lift up your hands.
Kwala mahlo ngwana.
Close your eyes.
Ke kopa re tlise matsoho mo ngwaneng.
May you stretch your hands towards her.
Re rapeleng kaofela.
May we all pray.
Case e mona,
The case that is here,
that I don't know.
eo ke sa e
E hloka
tsebeng,
mohau wa Modimo.
it needs God's grace.
Morena Jesu. Wena Modimo wa mahodimo. O fodisitse batho ba bangata. O entse ntho tse ngata. Re ke be ra bua ka tuma wa thola. Ba se ka etsa letho. Ka lebitso la Morena Jesu. Modimo o phelang. Rearrange ntho nngwe le e nngwe. Moyo wa ka. Rearrange ntho nngwe. Rearrange bophelo. Ha re rapeleng haholo yana. Re be le passion. Passion. Modimo wa phela. Ne o le teng before. Ntse o le teng ka jeko. O tla nno be teng ka ho sa fele. Kganya yohle e tla ya ho wena. Modimo o phelang. Ha o entse taba e, kganya ntse tla ya ho wena. Ka lebitso la Morena Jesu. 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 Modimo ngwana o sa le monyane. Bona hatsi. Ka lebitso la Jesu. Ka lebitso la Jesu Kristo. Mamuruti khaudi le mme Mophethe tlangwana. Go ba le tlegwana le tlo haka ngwana no ha go something has to happen. Let's get a stop out rapela baina. Let's get a stop out rapela. Until ba get le mo ha. Haholo. Riba hashti presta kusha. Keremushta ka presiante. Librasto ka tseketa saya. La brushta ka presta. Iko parra pele bazalwana. Demo is serious. Riba hashti ke drosaya. Ashaka tose. Jesus. 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 Ke pareme ka maoto re short nako khutshwana re leboe Modimo. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Dira bikar pota pota.
The enemy may surround us
ntse re eme ka maoto
with us while standing.
mara ha modimo a le teng
But when God is present,
o tla di khala kaofela
He will scatter them.
nkang kgato
Take an action.
le tlo bona modimo
You will see God.
re ke phete mantswe a le tlo bona modimo
Let me repeat these words. You will see God.
go etsahalang ka ngwanong
What is
Ho na le motho a ka
happening?
mpolelang go etsahalang ka ngwana
Is there somebody that can explain what is going on?
Masoka, ka njwetsa something ka ngwana ha ke tsebe ke mo spotile fela
She is my sister's daughter.
Ke ngwana ausi wa ka.
So, well, etsahetseng recently ke hore
Ntho e etsahetseng lately is that
o kena sekolo ko Eastern Cape kwa.
she goes to school in the Eastern Cape.
So, well, go na le ntho e ngata e sa le etsahala bophelo ba hae ha be a ka ba ba monate nje.
Her whole life was not pleasant.
At the age of 12 o hlokahalletswe ke ntate wa hae.
At the age of 12, her father passed on,
Fine he mara o hantle.
but she's
So,
okay now.
etsahetseng this year ke hore
So what happened this year is that
o ile a ba involved as the student sa sekolo sa hae.
she was involved as the students of her school.
Ba le ha ke tsebe hore ke eng yona event ne ba yentse mara hona mo ba ja matekwane kampo a drink that is sing matekwane a drink enang le di drugs
They had a student
gathering
Gathering.
one Friday.
of
le a utlwa
Fridays,
lona ba kenang high school ko tertiary
but
ntse le utlwa
they
it's not a
had
playground mon
Hase playground.
So
They
we got a
attention.
call from one of a president ya SRC
So Ribile Rafumana phone call from the president of the
gore re
SRC
tle re mo check re mo late because ha hantle o bona dintho that are not there.
because she's not okay. She sees things that are not there.
Ka nnete we went that night ra fihla ra mo thola
Truly, we went Busubo, we found her.
ra mo thola a robetse ka ntle ho res mo ba dulang teng.
She was sleeping outside of the rest where they were.
Gore a
They were.
robetse outside mo bojwaneng.
She was sleeping outside of the residential
And
place.
then o bua dintho fela gore that are right that are just not there.
And she was speaking of things that tsene di seyo.
We drove le ena re khutla it's about 10 hours.
Re bile ra driver le ene di hour tse 10
14 hours
10 or 14 hours to go there.
Sorry le ka nnete ra ba ra khutla le ena ke ra hore tsela eo kaofela o tlo fihla Tsakane.
So we drove from that place, from the Eastern Cape to
O
Tsakane.
bua fela things that are not there.
She was just saying things tse
So
seyo.
ha re ya ke buile le mama
So when we went, I spoke
ke
to
mo
Mama
hlalosetsa hore na le bothata bo tjena ke tsebe re thola ho le jwang.
and I told her we have a problem
Re
and I
kopa
don't know.
dithapelo.
May they please help
And then
us, pray for us.
coming back ntate a phone re le tseleng
And when we came back, Dade called and said, "Are you on the way?"
se ke tjho re le tseleng ntate a phone
While we
a mo
were on the
rapella
way,
over the phone.
Dade prayed for her over the phone.
Ka nnete re bone mohau wa Modimo.
We truly saw the grace of the
Well,
Lord.
she was admitted go na le sepetlele mo ba re ke sa depression psychological hospital.
When she was admitted in the hospital of it's a
O dutse moo
psychological
for
hospital
21 days.
for 21 days.
Yes, so o dutse sepetlele seo for 21
She
days.
stayed, she was admitted for 21 days.
And then mara re bone mohau wa Modimo.
We just
fela.
saw the grace of the Lord.
She is slowly becoming herself.
O ntse a kgutla e ba
Mara ntho e
yena.
kgolo e ke e elelletsweng nna ka
But the
bonna ho yena
biggest thing that I realized
ke hore
in her
o developile lerato la Modimo ka tsela e tshosang.
is that she developed the love of God
O
in
tsamaile a
amazing manner.
pholositswe bazalwane
She left here born again
ho ya sekolong.
to go to school,
O ke ra hore ke motho ya pholositsweng.
meaning she's a born again
O
Christian.
kene nthong tseo tsa di-drugs a ntse a pholositswe.
She got involved in those drug drinks while she was still born again.
Ke- ke peer pressure haeba ke peer pressure mara ke dintho tse etsahetseng ko sekolong tse ba kopanang le tsona ha ba fihla sekolong.
It is peer pressure, if we can
Mara
call it peer
coming back
pressure.
after this event, ke motho ya ithatelang Modimo.
But after this event, she's a person that
O na
loves
le
God.
dinako tsa hae, o tla ba re, "Ha ke je aunty, ke itimile dijo every matsatsi, na le matsatsi every week." Ha wa
She
nka-
has certain days weekly that she fasts.
Eh, so well, ha ka bokgutshwane fela, otherwise bophelo ba hae ke pale ntate.
Oh, dula fatshe. Jebe mahloko. Modimo wa phela. O restore. Mo phelele ngwanaka. Wa o rata. O tla fetoha bopaki ho ba bang. Hore Modimo o restore. Santse re tlo bona tse ngata after this. This was your day.
Re ka shapela Morena Jesu
We
matsoho.
may clap hands for the Lord Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Amen.